What's up, my boomers? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my social commentary channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. So, I did get a new PC, a Meta PC, and I want you guys to check out my unboxing video I made for that on my Melanie Mac channel, so check that out in the description below. Super fun, super awesome stuff, so they sponsor me now, and I'm really excited about it. If you guys are in the market for a new PC, definitely check that out. Check out the video. I also have a link in the description where you can get your own Meta PC. Use code MAC. So, I really like Meta PCs. They sponsor a lot of us canceled peeps. They don't bow to the cancel mob. They're great. They are great, and I love my new PC. It's amazing. The only thing about it, and that's why this video is late today, is that once you install the new PC, having to install everything else, like all of your stuff, get everything, thumbnail stuff set up, Photoshop, Premiere, all the browser stuff. I forgot my passwords on everything, so I have to set all that up. It has been a job. I am just like, I am ready for this PC to feel like my home. It's almost there. It's almost there. By the time this is up, I'll probably have everything I need finally. But yeah, this has been a process. But anyway, let me get into today's video because a lot of you have been asking my opinions on this with Square Enix selling Tomb Raider. Okay. Well, basically Square Enix selling Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal. Okay, so what does this mean for the future of Tomb Raider? What does this mean for a lot of things? I'm getting all the questions. Let's go ahead and read this first, and then I will dive into some of my opinions. So Square Enix selling Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and Thief and their studios as well. Let's see if the new owners can also be disappointed by great games that sell well. Well, I mean, yeah, because that is the thing. Square Enix did have very unrealistic expectations for sales. The Embracer Group, a planet-swallowing mass of video game publishers that already includes the likes of Gearbox and THQ Nordic, tonight announced a deal to purchase a number of storied studios and properties from Square Enix. And okay, Creative Cloud is installing stuff. All right, while the purchase isn't final, this is just an agreement to acquire them until everything is signed off later in the year. The announcement press release says that if approved, it will be a USD $300 million deal. For the $300 million deal, Embracer will get a hold of the studios. $300 million? I mean, okay, I would have thought it would have been more, but the studios Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, the latter of which will presumably be in for a name change, numbering around 1,100 employees worldwide. The catalog of IPs owned and or worked on by those studios, including Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, Thief, Legacy of Kain, and the continued sales of operations of the studios, more than 50 back catalog games. Also of interest, Crystal Dynamics is actively working on several AAA projects, including the next mainline Tomb Raider game that will deliver next-generation storytelling and gameplay experiences. Square Enix bought Eidos and Crystal Dynamics along with it in 2009, and while initially overseeing a number of well-received reboots of series like Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, later games in those properties, along with licensed efforts like the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, their ownership became something of a meme in recent years, as no matter how high their review scores ended up being or how many copies they would sell, Square Enix would say the game had underperformed, which they did. Perhaps knowing that first question most folks would have following a deal like this would be, so what's happening with those series? Embracer's press release says the acquisition brings a compelling pipeline of new installments from beloved franchises and original IPs, including a new Tomb Raider game. The acquisition builds on Embracer's mission of creating a leading independent global gaming and entertainment ecosystem. Embracer has been particularly impressed by the studio's rich portfolio of original IP, housing brands with proven global potential such as Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, as well as demonstrating the ability to create AAA games with large and growing fan bases. There are compelling opportunities to organically grow the studios to maximize their commercial opportunities, which is vague but still more hopeful for fans of something like Deus Ex than Square Enix's complete silence and neglect in recent years. The purchase is expected to be completed during the second quarter of Embracer's financial year 22-23, July through September. Okay, note that Embracer spent $1.3 billion on just Gearbox. To get all of this from the experienced studios to the beloved properties for $1 billion seems like a steal. That's what I was thinking. So why sell? Their press release says, Square Enix's, the transaction will assist the company in adapting to the changes underway in the global business environment by establishing a more efficient allocation of resources, which will enhance corporate value by accelerating growth in the company's core business in the digital entertainment domain. In addition, the transaction enables the launch of new businesses by moving forward with investments in fields including blockchain, AI, and the cloud. Okay, so they want to focus on like NFT type stuff and things. Imagine having put on your CV that you sold Tomb Raider to at least partially fund some blockchain crap. Fair. Now, here's the thing though, is I do think they sold it for ridiculously cheap. I mean, if you just look at the budgets just to make the games, like Tomb Raider's budgets for the recent games have been like 100 mil per game. So that's, yeah, interesting. But I think Square Enix is just kind of over it with a lot of the story-based Western properties. Because, I mean, they're never happy with them. Yeah. I don't know what this could mean for Tomb Raider. I'm not really mad at it. Granted, like, we've seen Tomb Raider sold like crazy. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'd rather see a new studio make Tomb Raider. I hate to say it because I do have friends that work for them and all that. But the problem is I just don't think Crystal Dynamics gives a crap about, like, the actual heart of Tomb Raider, the history of Tomb Raider. Maybe since they do have some new people working on it, maybe, but they just keep getting everything freaking wrong. Like, I made a tweet about it. Come on, let's see if this works. Okay, good. I made a tweet about, you know, their Tomb Raider experience that they've been, let me scroll through here. Here it is. Like their Tomb Raider experience that they've been doing, which I think the live experience is cool. It's a fun thing they're doing, but become the hero. Lara Croft is not a hero. Lara Croft is more of an anti-hero type, you know? She's a grave robber, for crying out loud. And so I get so tired of them trying to make Lara into a hero. Now in the recent games, they try to make her more of a hero, and it's just stupid. I want Tomb Raider to be actually Tomb Raider again, and I want Lara Croft to be Lara Croft again. For some reason, my Streamlabs OBS is just, the timer doesn't work on it, so I thought it wasn't recording, but we're back. So yeah, anyway, I want Tomb Raider to be Tomb Raider again. Now, here, I do think that it's a possibility this could be a good thing if, you know, Embracer Group here actually has some sort of hand in things, because I feel like with Square Enix, they just kind of let Crystal Dynamics do whatever they want. All they cared about was sales numbers, and that was that. I feel like having a publisher with a bit more say of the direction of the games could be great, because, I mean, fans have been wanting a more classic experience for a while. And I think Crystal Dynamics, if I'm being truthful, I think they've just been given too much free reign, and they've wanted to make Tomb Raider something different and their own thing, but they want to capitalize on the names. They want to capitalize on Lara Croft's name and the franchise name, but they don't want to actually respect it. I have a ton of videos about this if you want to find out more about my opinions on that. So, yeah, I hope that Embracer Group has more of a say, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. At this point, I just feel like it can't get much worse. I feel like the franchise is so far from its roots at this point, and it was a fun little detour, but I'm over it now. I'm so beyond over it. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into some recent comments from some of my recent videos. David says, anyone ever see those older videos of Melanie from about 12 years ago? Long before she went carnivore, she seems so much stronger and more vibrant now. She's like Steve Rogers after he got injected with the super soldier serum. This made my freaking day when I saw this comment. I was like, holy cow, that's a huge compliment. Thank you so much. Monkey God says, as a Christian, Melanie, you should not approve of sin being represented as a positive in anything. This was about my video talking about, you know, the gay character in Dead by Daylight. Now, I'm just going to say, I do get backlash from people, other Christians who don't like it, that I'm not using my platform to condemn the LGBT community and all that. Here's the thing, is it's not my place to judge people on that sort of thing. And, you know, when it comes to the Bible and when it comes to sin and things like that, I mean, I do things that are in the Bible that are sins. You know what I mean? Like, we all do. And we obviously should try to live according to God's plan and God's purpose and all that. But at the end of the day, I don't tell people how to live their lives. Like, a lot of people, I don't force my beliefs on people. I don't do any of that. And so when it comes to people in the LGBT community and stuff like that, I just know some of my best friends. My best friend is a lesbian, you know? And so it's like, and she calls herself a Christian. And so I'm just like, dude, I call myself a Christian, and there's things that I don't do in the Bible. You know, I try and I work on it, but you know, at the end of the day, that's between them and God. That's not my place. It's just not my place to judge and condemn people. I want to just love people, and whatever, whoever they're attracted to, whoever they date, all that kind of stuff, it's none of my business, and it's not my place to judge them. So no, I don't do that. That's not for me to do. Striking Blue says, this happened to me with someone in my community. This is about this guy who sues streamer girl for not falling in love with him. He was very generous. However, once he expressed he wanted a personal romantic relationship, and I, a straight married man, refused and explained that donations do not entitle him to that, he has begun sabotaging me and bad-mouthing me in shared communities. This is a real problem for creators, and one I never expected to ever encounter. Thank you for this comment. I appreciate it, because like, I feel like most people in the comments understand this type of situation, but there's always a certain group of people who just immediately blame the woman on this. They're just like, when it's a female streamer, well, you know, she was probably being flirty. She was probably this. She was probably being that. And it's just like, dude, this is something similar. Like, this has happened to me. This happened to a ton of other girl streamers who we are not at any capacity trying to make people think that we will date them if they donate to us or support our content. And so I'm glad you made this comment, because I mean, at the end of the day, girls who there's going to be some girls who like, I think when you go into OF territory, it does feel a little different. It's a lot more complex. But when you come into just like streaming video games like she does, she's a Destiny 2 streamer, then how come it's okay for guys to receive donations from dudes, or women, but when girls do, then we're told that we are selling the girlfriend experience or leading them on. It's a ridiculous double standard, I think. Apocalypse says the goal of a horror game is to get your character to survive, not explore their sexuality. Jason or Michael in the other room do not care about what parts of the human anatomy you like. They will dismember you equally. I think that's fair, and I noticed a lot of the comments I got in this video. You know, the thing is Dead by Daylight, to my knowledge, didn't clarify anybody's sexuality. So, for all we know, they all could be gay. You know what I mean? They all could be gay, they all could be straight, they all could be like a mix between whatever. Nobody really cared. And so it's just like, you don't see the converse of, well, where's my straight representation? Who does this character date? I need to know if they're straight, you know? And so I think in a game that is not story-based especially, and in a survival horror type game like this, why does anybody even care what sexuality the characters are? They don't even have a sexuality. They're not real. So it's just like, it plays zero role in the game itself, so it just feels like pandering. Bomb Shop says, natural diversity is good, not forced diversity. Hopefully Elon is going to cause a domino effect, and it can be okay to be straight and white without being labeled as everything in the book. For real. Benevolence says, you say you have an inner troll, but you seem more like an ESFP than an ENTP. I feel like you don't have any remote understanding of me if you think I would be either of these. I am extremely introverted. I am like 90 on the 90% plus scale on the spectrum of introverted. I'm INFP. So yeah, and I fit that very, very, very much so. Interesting guesses there. Okay. Kala says, I'm gay, but this is cringe, as it seems crowbarred in just to say, look, we included a gay person, out of fear of being called uninclusive and being canceled, or to score woke points, because when would his sexuality, gay or straight, become a topic during gameplay? There are no romantic storylines in that game. I'm sure representation has helped things in the past, but people aren't going to know his or even a new character's preference via playing, so it reads as pandering, which is cringy. I'm not insulted they didn't make a new gay character. I don't think they needed to do that, or this, as one, character sexuality doesn't have to be announced unless the devs wanted it to via some organic reason, and if it's actually relevant, and two, this topic doesn't really fit into that type of game / within that gameplay. They might have had 100% pure intentions for all I know, and I don't mean to sound hateful, but it's like Kellogg's announcing Tony the Tiger is gay. What does that do? How would that information even be relevant within his purpose, aka Crowbard? I definitely think that makes sense. Thank you for the comment there. So there's that. Let me go ahead and go into the verse of the day. Today I picked Deuteronomy 28:7. It says, the Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. I can't remember if I've done this one before or not, but I don't know. It's just encouraging, man. It's encouraging. And as you can see, I gotta get my ad block set up again. I'm so freaking overwhelmed, dude. I've got so much I gotta get set up and fixed on my PC so that I can just get back in the groove of things. But anyway, there you have it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. And in the meantime, go boom.